We do have this story from the Daily Mail. Pakistan tells Iran they will nuke Israel if Netanyahu uses nuclear weapons against Tehran. Regime officer claims in huge World War III apocalypse threat. General Mohsen Reza, a senior officer in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and a member of Iran's National Security Council, said in an interview, Pakistan has assured us that if Israel uses a nuclear bomb in Iran, they will attack Israel with a nuclear bomb.
They're downwind.
Can we?
They're downwind.
Pakistan has to have denied this by now.
I do believe that the latest update, let me see if I can get it.
Their war with India came to a close pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
So it was that like 10 minutes?
Stopped.
Yeah.
It's like,
they
all
were
right,
like,
we're
"We're done now."
They do that.
Yeah. Periodically.
They were just
Every once in a while, they have to remind people that we exist too, and we're kind of near the Middle East.
flirting with bombs.
The only source I can find is Hindustan Times.
That's not always. Sometimes
I'm going
they
to pull it
have
up anyway.
Sometimes they
No.
have it,
I know,
sometimes
it's a
they
weird
don't.
one.
No such commitment. Pakistan and Iran's tit-for-tat claim. So Pakistan has told us that Israel, however, Pakistan has denied this claim, taking to X. Okay, so maybe they do. Okay, I don't know. I'll try and look up the actual guy.
While you do that, I just want to say one thing really quick about the importance of going after the media and what Netanyahu's doing, but what all people do, all governors of state do, and presidents and the CIA.
It's your responsibility to basically.
It's like they know they have to undermine the media to undermine the country. And like in 1953, Kermit Roosevelt Jr. was a CIA officer on the ground in Iran, literally working to subvert all of the media to turn it against the Ayatollah, which is what we did to tackle, to shut down Iran with the coup, right? So he spent all that time, I think under a year, to subvert the nation with bad news, right? So it's like the same thing of trying to fearmonger in the media here. And Netanyahu knows the podcast world, the influencer world is the one that's got more people, listening.
I'm not finding this post they're claiming.
While we're on that, though, we talked a little bit about the left's way back. And we talk a lot about the three-legged stool of the right from the Reagan days, the economic libertarians, let's call them the hawks, the national security hawks and anti-communists, and then the social conservatives. And they were all united in their cause against communism, right? That was the seat of the stool was anti-communism.
This is crazy.
And you think of the three-legged stool on the left. For the longest time, it had been kind of the technocratic institutionalist left, the civil rights left, and the economic left, the workers' unions, etc.
Yeah.
So now you have this coming back where you can have an anti-war contingent. Senator Tim Kaine today has already introduced legislation or resolution that would condemn any sort of military action against Iran. You have a civil rights coalition, which with the DEI mindset, and this is probably the nuttiest leg of the stool, but this is, the same thing that drives their impassioned defense of anti-racism and affirmative action is also driving their support for Palestine. You bring those people back into the fold, and then the institutionalist contingent, we saw they were a total flop, but the No More Kings demonstrations over the weekend, those are the institutionalists here.
So
and you're bringing these people back together, breaking apart your own coalition at the same time. If you are one of those figureheads on cable news right now, advocating for war with Iran because of the nuclear weapon, but not telling people what is inevitably going to follow if we're not super duper careful.
So I'm looking up this claim of an X post. I can't find it. And I've seen people posting screenshots. It's not on his page. And I'd pull up his page, but it's just pictures of dead children and corpses and stuff from the war, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, don't do that.
But I went to his X. It says on Hindustan Times that they're denying it. Our nuclear capabilities for the benefit of the people, our country, blah, blah, blah. Denying that this claim has been made. But I don't see it on his X page. The only thing I see going back several days is just pictures of bombs, them saying Israel's going to be wiped off the map, and dead kids from Gaza.
Which is gross, too.
I just want to remind everyone.
So maybe, I don't know.
Also, to just remain suspicious of every news that might confirm any bias you have about
That's
anything
huge.
domestic and foreign.
Yeah.
I have been seeing so many big accounts share bogus stuff all weekend, especially like the people celebrating allegedly in Iran in the tunnel. Old video, bombs. There's certain bombs. Obviously, some of these rockets are real videos. Others totally fake videos. Other things. Everyone's trying to win you over.
Color editing to make it look more.
Yep. Just like they made Trump orange, they're making fires more bigger, but they're from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We keep seeing stuff like that. So just be very careful of the things that are making you emotional. when it comes to this war, because we've been seeing. I was just saying the other day how we were on IRL like a year ago talking about the hospital that was bombed.
Yep.
And we were like, maybe this is not even real news. It turned out the next day, bogus. It was not exactly how they were portraying it as. It's a fog of war.
And that's kind of become the norm nowadays.
Yep. Yep. And then not to mention AI stuff that's going to be pumped out.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't have a sense that there's a lot of AI stuff used to try to trick people, I guess. I feel like, I just don't get the sense that is something that you see a lot of nation states doing now. They do propaganda in other ways.
Mm-hmm. But that fog of war during the Arab Spring was, I think there was a quote from an Eisenhower administration official, might have been Ike himself, that said, like, this is all laying a bank of fog, the fog of war, and allows political operators in that fog to operate very, very, very shrouded, but yet right there in front of the public.
Yep. You're just like, we need boots on the ground.
And what happens
on the ground.
when Arab Spring? What happened with that bank of fog? Yep. All of a sudden, you have 2 million to 10 million. That's literally the range of the estimates. People coming in and fundamentally changing Western Europe. And Western Europe is a fundamentally different place because of the regime change wars that took place, and the uprisings that took place. Yep. Supported by Western powers.
And funny enough, Eisenhower was the one behind the 1950, who's the president during the Iranian coup, who also gave us the great term military-industrial
complex. Right.
Because he saw it up close and personal. He inherited the coup from Truman, and then he was like, yeah, let's do that.
But then
$100,000.
That's how they operate in the shadows, and all of a sudden, boom, your country gets hit with 2 million new migrants who are now taking over full neighborhoods and completely changing the way that your community operates, the culture of your community, the culture of your nation, the creed of your nation, even sometimes. Yep. And that could be coming on an even larger scale, because we think that Shura is in charge of Syria. No, Syria is broken up into 4 different contingents, still all vying for power. It's going to be a contest between the Israelis and the Turks there. There could be a whole lot more bloodshed before that thing is over. Yeah. How's Libya doing? How's Iraq doing?
I have no idea how Libya is doing right now.
Libya is doing very, very poorly.
Not doing well. Yeah.
Millions of people still, plus what happens in Iran, could come to the Western world, and the West could be done
the stories
as we know it.
Out of Libya right now. Negotiations, how are they handled? I heard this from a friend who works in development in various regions, doing like investments and things like this, that it's all tribal leaders now, and they negotiate by a group of tribal militia walked into one of the local magistrates, whatever they call themselves, put a grenade on the table and just said, this is how we do business. That's what it's turned into. Yeah. Live grenade. Here we go.
Well,
we get what we want.
Apparently Hillary Clinton was wrong about what would happen in Libya.
Publicly. Yes. She had her public position and her private position, remember?
Yeah.
And publicly she was like, we'll be greeted as liberators. I'm saying that facetiously. Behind the scenes, they knew exactly what they were doing in destabilizing the region. That was the point.
Yep. Just like we did to Haiti.
Yeah, Haiti's
Guatemala.
Destroyed.
Yep.
I think the Arab Spring was an operation of the West.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
You think so?
I wouldn't doubt it.
So I was actually
talking. What do you make of Egypt putting the quash on the Palestinian Gaza march?
It's completely expected.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why we always
all those
make
Arab
a joke
countries
where we're like
troublemakers. Yeah.
When these leftists argue about Israel Palestine, we always say like, okay, we'll buy you a plane ticket over there.
Go for it.
And I've offered this to a lot of people. They never want to do it. I say, hey, I got an idea. How about we send you? We'll do a documentary. We'll film you talking about what you believe in, why you believe in it. We'll go to like the Rafah crossing, and then we'll film a whole thing about what you're doing, what you want to do, and we'll see what happens. And then they're like, nah.
Yeah.
The challenge with it is we'll be liable when they die. Mm-hmm. And so it's like we can't really do it.
Like Spanish Civil War, like all the Americans went over, got themselves in a mess.
I'm just saying, like, if I told someone I'll buy your ticket to go to the Rafah crossing, I'll get sued.
Really? You'd get sued?
By the family for wrongful death.
Oh,
yeah. They're
going to be like,
the whole family. Send
they're going to say, knew, and even talk about on your show how this is going to result in, death or serious injury. And you sent them there anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, they wanted to go. That's like, yeah, but they didn't know. And you knew they didn't know.
Part of
Tim would have to sell
war correspondence.
Yeah, sell the farm. No.
You sign up for war correspondence. That's kind of what you get into.
Yeah.
You are liable for your war correspondence. That's why we don't do it.
Yeah.
So people need to understand this. Like sending a reporter on the ground to cover riots is ridiculously expensive. Not because of the labor costs, because of the insurance costs.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to send someone into a place where they're going to get bludgeoned to death, where far left extremists are going to chase them down to kill them. Yeah, your insurance is going to get expensive real quick.
Yup.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.